Hey, it's Rob Brown with Rob's Vlog, and I'm sitting here today with Tamara Whitmore and Tony Pide. And did I pronounce that right?
It's PA.
It's PA. PA. I'll get it. I know. But we're going to talk today about Tony's big idea. That's really, or otherwise known as the Annabessacook Milfoil Project. Now, as many of you know, last year they detected a milfoil issue in Annabessacook. Is that correct, Tamara?
Well, it was actually in 2013.
Oh, wow, so it goes back a ways.
Yeah, and then, but it's been under what DEP calls, Department of Environmental Protection, what they call rapid response. So they've been sort of managing it, and then last year it went to local control. So that's when we started really getting involved and trying to see how really be involved with the removal piece of it. And we're a little concerned about how bad it is, and we need to step up our efforts for sure.
No, what was it last year? It took, what, 4,000 pounds?
4,000 gallons.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and that was only really in 1 week. We got a professional team, New England Milfoil, in there, and they did that much just in 1 week, and really were removing from the channel. But after that was like in the end of July, so the rest of the summer we noticed that it was growing back, or there was some plants that were in there and we didn't see them when they were there. So there's more to get. So we would really like to up the ante and go between 4 and 6 weeks of removal time.
Getting after it. Yep. Now, Tony, there's more than one area on the lake that's, I guess, infested. Is that what we'd call it?
That's right. So the majority of the infestation is by the boat launch in Annabessacook. And there are 2 other locations further up the lake where variable milfoil has been detected. But the majority of it is by the boat launch, which is the worst possible spot that it could be.
Yeah, and that's because that's where everybody's coming and going, and we're churning everything up. And where Annabessacook has that big sweeping area that you have to get in and out when you go into the landing. So
it's kind of like a jungle cruise.
Yeah, it is.
You know, later on in the season. But the problem is, and we've put up signs that say, please keep to the absolute middle of the channel, because on the sides where that wild rice is growing is where the variable leaf milfoil
it just mixes in with it.
It does, and sometimes you can't tell that it's there because other plants are floating on top of it. So it is a pesky little plant.
Well, we know what the problem is, and kind of know what the solution is. I know that it's very labor intensive to be able to get in there with the dash boat, put people in the water, and the only real successful way you found is to hand pick it. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, in this particular spot, getting in there with a dive crew and actually pulling the plants is going to be the best solution.
That's good.
And we can't go at it just like the 1 week or 2 weeks, you know, that we did last year. We're lucky enough to bring Tony on board, who has over 10 years of controlling this plant under her belt. So, I mean, she's said to, one of the first things she said to us, we need to really up our game, and we need to do, if we're going to have an impact, we need to put more resources into it. And the reality is we really need to protect Coppice.
Sure.
I mean, that is, you know, it's already in Annabessacook. We're going to try to get it out of Annabessacook, all of it. But we also have to do that so that we can protect Coppice, because it has a lot of area where that plant can grow.
Absolutely. There's a lot of shallow coves and whatnot, and that's where it really loves to manifest. It takes off quickly, and I think that's why in Annabessacook, in the areas we're talking about, it's prime for that type of plant. And moving on from that, as we all know, you know, fixing these problems, it takes money, you know, and it really comes down to it. And I think that's the nature of this, is this video is to try to let you know that what the issue is and how we're going to go about helping these organizations, this organization specifically, in combating that. Now, Tony's big idea is to raise
$250,000 over a 3-year period to try to get the milfoil out of Annabessacook Lake, prevent it from spreading to other areas of Annabessacook, and ultimately to prevent it from spreading to Coppice. The other piece is that we want to educate people. So we're really going to be reaching out to the shorefront property owners on those 2 lakes and making sure they know about the issue, know what milfoil looks like, so that if any new infestations pop up, we can get to it as soon as possible.
That's excellent. I think that, you know, you really should be forwardly looked at simply because of what you're doing. I'm terrible with words. I stumble on my words sometimes, but what you folks are doing is you've identified the problem, and now you're being really proactive. And here at Clark Marine, I've been with the board for a long time. You guys keep voting me on, even though you know you don't really want to, but it's okay. I have to be on the board, I guess. We're kind of foot soldiers, and we try to help out as much as we can here at Clark Marine. And one of the things that I know it's going to take some money. $250,000 is a massive amount of money, especially when it's all going to be through donations for the most part, I'm sure. Through our boat show season this year, we're going to be donating $100 for every boat package that we sell. That's our little piece, and it's just going to make a dent in it. And we're going to do that, and we'll follow suit for the next 3 years so that we can, our hope is that over, say, the next 3 years that we can donate $20,000 or $25,000 towards this. My plea to people who watch this is, if you're business owners, what is there in your business that you can attach a small percentage that, you know, through incremental sales that you can donate to this fund so that we can help clean this particular area up. And if we're so fortunate to be able to do it sooner, maybe those resources could be put towards other areas in our watershed and other projects. So I guess that's my plea there. Anything, Tamara?
Well, and it's kind of a critical time now, because if we do it now before it gets out of control, right? We need to, and the whole, we sort of are saying restore Annabessacook, protect Cobbossee, because it's much easier, much cheaper to do it at this stage. There's other neighboring lakes in other watersheds that have raised over $1 million to do this sort of work.
Yeah.
So I think this is realistic. It's ambitious for us because it's a big project for our organization, but I think it's realistic, and all monies for that project are strictly for that project.
And I mean, the reality of it is too that it will be more than a 3-year project. The kickoff of the campaign is an initial 3-year period where we're going to go at it with this plan that we've created and then reassess the situation after that 3-year period. So it will end up being a longer than a 3-year project, but to kick it off, we're going to really go at it really hard for 3 years.
And we've got to educate people. We need all eyes on the water. So we'll be handing out, you'll see us on the lakes. We'll be going around dock to dock and possibly door to door, giving out some information that says, if you see something suspicious, here's our numbers, we're going to come and take a look at it.
What's this stuff look like? So
Exactly.
yeah. And don't feel you have to buy a boat to make a donation. Anywhere, you know, $1, $10, $100, $1,000, maybe I don't know, $25,000. What do you say we get some donors out there? But you can donate through us here at the marina, or you can contact the Friends of the Cobbossee Watershed. How would people get a hold of you, Tamara?
You can go on our Facebook page, which I think is Watershed Friends or Spot of the Otter. You can give us a call at 621-4100. You can contact Tony's, T-O-N-I, or mine is T-A-M-A-R-A at watershedfriends.com. Pretty much, you just put us in the search bar and you'll find us.
Yeah, you guys have a great footprint here. Tony, this is Tony's big project. So what's the last thing, what's the last statement? What would you like?
I feel like we can do it. You know, I think that this is a community that cares about the lakes, and you know, there's some deep-seated history here on Cobbossee in particular. So I think it's very doable, and so I think it's going to happen.
And a huge thank you to this guy and Clark Marine, because we haven't even officially launched the project. This is it. So so a big thank you to Clark Marine for your investment in this project.
Well, thank you. We got to start somewhere, right? So, hey, it's Rob Brown with Rob's Vlog, Tony's Big Idea, here with Tamara from the Friends of the Cobbossee Watershed. Let's go out and lick this thing. What do you say?